Yeah, you mentioned the John Hughes movies, and even like The Revenge of the Nerds, which is kind of an obvious example. I have a big problem with the movie Grease, and we won't get into that because it's not about me. But just there were, at that time, and even now, but not quite as much, like there was a lot of culture that was just kind of like, oh, if you, the person that they tried to put as the outcast for character reasons was always the one that was into different stuff and that type of thing. Do you think that's still something that's happening now, or is there kind of like a shift there?
I don't know. I think there's a bit of a shift, but I think it may be dependent on certain circles where it may not have shifted. But that's the case in many respects.
Yeah, I guess I mean like mostly in media, like the type of thing. Like, do you still see that that's being discouraged to be a nerd and be different, or do you think that our society is kind of embracing that?
I think
it's embracing it.
I think they're definitely embracing it. I feel like the nerds are inheriting the earth. And
it's been inherited, and people are finally like waking up to it and being like, well, okay, because they don't really have a choice.
I'm just kind of worried that it's turning into a trendy thing versus an actual love of things.
I mean, it is a trendy thing.
To some degree. I mean, like, that's the scary part of it, is like one day this is going to blow over, and then the next new thing, they're going to latch onto that, and like,
which
I'm
is
hoping
fine. I mean, I think the trends will come and go, and the real nerds will be left, and anyone who was just testing it out or didn't fully embrace it will blow to the wind to the next trend. So yeah, I mean, I think it's just one of those things, and I wrote that recently too, where it's like sometimes when I see the mad influx of certain things, especially with Marvel and how successful they are now and opening, the comic book world to more people, and that exposure, and it doesn't help that they've hired a ridiculous amount of very attractive actors with a bunch of fangirls and all this stuff, and like just how many people are actually true fans about it. But that's not the point of being a nerd either. It's like nerds are used to being the ones excluded. So we'd be complete hypocrites if we freak out about that and exclude everyone else. Yeah. So all we can do is just welcome everybody to the club because it's a fun one. And if they want to stick around, great. And if they don't want to stick around, that's fine too. They can find their own thing. But that's all we can do, really. But yeah, I think it's definitely been embraced now for sure, because it's everywhere. It's everywhere now. And you can't. If E is talking about, Marvel premieres and like Entertainment Weekly, like all these different media stations that I'm seeing that like have never spoken about any nerd stuff before, and they're like all over it now. I'm like, wow, okay, well, it's there.
We've got great champions like Will,
Fillion, Hardwick, Joss.
There's just so many great. There's just so many great people out there, kind of saying, "Look, we're nerds. We know we're nerds, and we're really excited to be nerds." So it makes it a lot easier to kind of be who you are when you've got such great role models.
And to embrace it fully, and to not be afraid to embrace something that you're nerdy about. So
I should mention Felicia too on that list, because that was a lot.
Yeah,
that was a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of really great nerdy guys and ladies.